In this video, we get to look at a very cool 19th century Bowie or Bowie knife by a well-respected maker. It's 12 inches long, tip to tip, and here's one side, and now let's look at the other. It's a well-appointed piece, as you can see. Silver is used throughout. I obviously put it in the sheath for this side of things. Should probably point out. You can see even at a high level here from both those views how there's a lot of decorative elements. I know this view isn't the most useful, but it's a nice reminder of how sleek and thin, these large fighting knives really are when you just kind of put them down flat. The pommel is a big selling point, or was back when it was originally sold. It's also very patriotic. It's got an American eagle, shield, and cannon. That brings up a funny historical tidbit that I'm sure some of you know, or many of you, but a lot of Bowie knives were imported, and they'd have patriotic slogans on them, but they were made in England. Capitalism at its finest. This is not one of those. I saw another one of their knives. There, meaning the maker, of course, that we're going to talk about, but it was on sale from a Civil War auction site, so it was obviously Civil War era, and it even pointed out American-made. Just kind of humorous that the classic American weapon, especially in terms of antiques, was so often made elsewhere. Here is the maker we were talking about. Marks and Rees, guessing on the pronunciation of the letter, were from Cincinnati and made surgical equipment. Well, if you make surgical equipment, then you're probably going to be able to make a pretty sharp knife. Their knives were well regarded then and now. They're apparently pretty rare despite the high reputation. One website I was reading said that they made them in a superior style. And this one looks fantastic, and fantastic for its age. That's a 7.5-inch blade with a 2-inch clipped point. It's got a very elegant and yet formidable look. You probably noticed those notches, or whatever we want to call them, up there on the spine. Sometimes extra texturing, if you want to call it that, at this part of the blade is for your thumb. Kind of a thumb rest, gives you extra friction, less of a chance of slipping. The actual guard, though, the oval guard that this knife has, would seem to negate that. At least for fighting, that is. I don't know. Maybe it was decorative, functional when you're not fighting, functional when you're fighting and not fighting, but it's a noteworthy feature of this one for sure. So here's the silver-tipped sheath. Basically, all the metal you see on this guy is silver, even the pins in the handle. And I meant when you see it sheathed, of course. A silver blade would look pretty awesome and be pretty useless. In all, a great example of the classic American knife.